Okay. So how did you get into management?
Well, I think management got into me more than me getting into it. I've been in the entertainment business in some way, shape, or form for most of my life, for probably about 30 years. And it just seemed like a natural progression based on my skill set. I understand the artist's mind. I understand the entertainment business. I understand branding, marketing, and that type of thing. And it really, lends itself to working with artists and doing management and artist development.
And where do you work exactly?
Where do I work? I work I go back and forth between Atlanta. Excuse me. I go back and forth between Atlanta and Los Angeles. I still have an office in Burbank, which is where all the studios and stuff are in Southern California, and then have a home office where I live in Atlanta with the family.
And do you work with companies?
Do I work with companies? Yeah, I work with a lot of companies, not as a manager, but I work with companies on behalf of my clients that I manage, and I deal with everybody from HBO, Showtime, MTV, VH1, Viacom, that whole family, BET. We work with different people at all those networks and big companies from time to time.
What does it feel like to be an artist, but also be managing other artists who are successful?
I would say being an artist and managing artists is two completely different sides of your brain. So it definitely takes a certain amount of mind switch to put yourself in a position where you can think clearly on behalf of the client that you're representing, as well as think clearly on behalf of yourself as an artist. Because there are certain times when those objectives, there's a certain conflict of interest between those objectives from time to time. So you have to really be mindful of that. Yeah, it's very difficult. Very easy to put your artistry on a back shelf, especially when you have a client who's doing a lot, like Luenell is, for example. So I find that very challenging. It's just keeping my career active and keeping moving. But I look at all of these efforts as things that you literally have to focus on for 3 and 4 hour segments. Like, I just really try to compartmentalize these particular tasks at hand and spend 3 hours on this, 3 hours on that, a couple hours on this. And if you really focus in those short time periods, you find yourself accomplishing a lot and staying focused and staying moving in everything that you're doing. So,
Name the artists that you manage.
I manage the actress and comedian Luenell from Borat and Cat Williams' American Hustle, as well as movies like Adam Sandler's That's My Boy, Hotel Transylvania. She's done a lot of stuff. I manage an amazing singer from Chile named Paulo Ramirez, who is currently living in LA. He's a fantastic, amazing singer, songwriter, an artist, super talented performer. I have a kid from YouTube that I work with named Africano Boy. He's pretty popular. He's pretty silly. But I haven't talked to him for a while, so hopefully we're still moving forward. But everybody's got different levels of how much they were willing to give this game. You know what I mean? So, and I only have so much time. So my roster's real small.
With the unique perspective that you have, being an artist and a manager, what do you think that that artists either don't know about either side, or that they neglect in their pursuit of their careers?
I think the one thing that artists fail to keep in mind is the fact that it's on them. It's really on them to create their career. And it's on them to create their career. I mean, no one else can really do it for them. So while a certain relationship may tip things in a certain way, you have to already be on that path. You have to already be in motion. I had someone call me like just yesterday, and he was like, I just need someone to give me a chance, and da 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 da. And I said, well, you have to be so far along on your path for me to really make any difference for you. I could call the head of Warner Brothers tomorrow and set up a meeting for you, but you wouldn't know what to say. You wouldn't have any kind of credentials to show for yourself. You wouldn't have accomplished any of the things that would warrant you being there. So in order for you to get there, you have to do all the work that has to be done to warrant you to be there. So it's not like going to happen by virtue of someone making a phone call or someone, begging for you to get a job or giving you an opportunity. First of all, if you have to call and convince someone to hire someone, you're already at a disadvantage. They have to already want you. They have to already not necessarily know who you are, but once they're made aware of you, they have to already go, oh, that's what I want. I need something just like that. Or I need someone just like that. And so you have to fit the bill for something they're already looking for. So it's like putting yourself in a position where you can be utilized and called upon for an important gig or important project is up to you. It's up to you to do that work, and it's up to you to position yourself. I can point you in the direction, but I can't walk over there and make it happen for you. It just doesn't work.
How important do you feel it is for an artist to have a manager or a management team behind him?
I mean, I think a team is absolutely essential. Like they say, teamwork makes the dream work. And the army of one is always soundly defeated. So you definitely need to have people in your corner. Whether it's a manager, I don't know. It's a big question. Sometimes maybe it's a publicist. Sometimes maybe it's a lawyer. Sometimes it's just an agent. Sometimes it is, just a friend or a fan. Sometimes it's those type of things that make a difference for you more so than a manager. Manager's a certain thing. Everybody doesn't want to be managed. Everyone doesn't want to listen to someone and hear someone's advice. And you could meet some stranger who's really skilled at the business and a shrewd manager, but if you don't trust him or he doesn't trust you, it's not going to benefit your career in any way, shape, or form. So you really have to be protective of your space and your circle, create a great team. And maybe it's not a manager, but it's maybe something else. But you definitely need a team.
Do you have a manager?
No, I do not have a manager.
And why?
I don't have a manager because no one ever seemed interested in managing me, which is, yeah. I mean, actually, I did have someone who was very interested in managing me. I think very early in my career, and he ended up being hugely huge as a manager, and it's funny when I think about it. But yeah, it was literally the only time that someone really seemed like they were interested in managing me. But I've done pretty good without one, and probably I could probably use someone at some point, but it's just whether or not it's like you get so bogged down with doing the work for your artists and for the other stuff. It's like, when would I even have time to come through with all the stuff that someone would call me and say, hey, we need you to get your thing for this, we need you guys to rehearse for this and get this out. I'm like, oh, I don't have time, I've got to go to Montreal with Luenell.
How has the music industry changed, or even the entertainment industry in the last 20 years, particularly with the advent of digital?
Oh man, literally the entertainment business is completely upside down in the last 20 years. When I moved to Los Angeles, it was 1992, probably the height of that early 90s renaissance in black film and black television. We had shows on all the major networks in the United States. We had we had just all these movies and all these great filmmakers came onto the scene. Maddie Rich, Rusty Cundiff, just so many great, talented, independent filmmakers that, and there are just so many opportunities, obviously, as trends change, that's one thing that's hurt African Americans in cinema for sure, and in film and TV. But digital has had it's been amazingly difficult to find the type of revenue that was available, in those days. Just as markets have gotten more fragmented first, with cable and everything else, and then and satellite radio. And then just digital MP3s, video, like literally everything has just gone into the wind. However, I think there's a good side to it because as independents, we can do so much more. We can, as independents, you can make a really great living just independently. Sound Exchange is paying really good royalties for artists. If your song is getting played on satellite radio, YouTube is paying you if you're generating that kind of traffic online. You just literally have all sorts of new revenue streams that never existed before. And if you're, but you got to be, you got to be on top of it. You have to work harder, I think, than you used to get it. But you can maintain a lot more independence, and I think you can, and you can still make good money.
Two more questions.
Are my answers too long-winded?
No, they're great. What are the three most important things an artist wishing to embark on a career in entertainment should know?
I think the three most important things that an artist should know are that you are unique, that you're one of a kind, that nothing beats persistence. And that if you are willing to put in some work every day, that you can make it. You can make it. Whether or not you'll be the tippity top of the food chain just depends. That depends on a lot of other things. But if you are persistent, if you are really persistent and you put in the work, it is inevitable. Your success is inevitable. Third thing I would say is probably, keep a certain level of balance in your life. I think balance is really important. It's very easy to get caught up in all this and trying to, and easy to lose a sense of balance in your life as far as family, friends, time off, eating well, just living well. I think that's a big deal. So if you can maintain balance, I think that's really important. Spirituality, all that other stuff, just is like you gotta be well-rounded. I think those would be the three things I'd say are most important.
What advice would you give to young managers embarking on a career in the industry?
Be patient, young man, young man or young woman. The money will come. I think, believe in your client. If you don't believe in him, don't mess with him. If you don't trust them, don't mess with them. If they don't trust you, don't mess with them. It's not worth it. Start with one person that you just say, you know what, this person's the real deal. Luenell, like I've been asked by so many people to manage them before I started messing with Luenell, and this is before I was even a manager. This is when I was just a artist, entertainment executive type person. I wasn't even management. I was doing more marketing and advertising and music, and just working all these other various capacities. And just over the years, I've had people ask me to manage them all the time. Like, oh man, you should manage me. And I was like, and I would help. Like, okay, I'll help. But as far as literally doing it, until Luenell came, it was like. But I had already seen her work for 15 years, so I knew how persistent, how hard working, how undeniable her talent was. So these were things I already knew. For um, so it was almost a no-brainer. I was like, well, dang, I've known you for 15 years. You're like only gotten better. You've only gotten, you're not going anywhere. It's like, what are we gonna do? Well, yeah, if we just dig in, we might make some money. Boom, and we did. So we do, still do. So.
Last question. Do you feel that the entertainment industry can be used as a tool for social change, and how would you see that?
Um, I definitely feel like entertainment industry is a huge tool for social change. I mean, literally nothing has the impact on people's hearts and minds as much as stories, songs. These things are so powerful, and I feel like there's definitely been a consciousness shift in the last few years in terms of like really elevating the consciousness, elevating the level of social activism and stuff in music. I mean, it just seems like that is really a trend that's been missed for years and years and years and years. And I think, it's long overdue. So I'm glad to see that happening, and I like to see more artists doing more with their music and art to make a difference. I mean, even if you're making a difference just in the lives of people, in an individual consciousness level, I mean, that's huge. Help someone not be as racist, or help someone not be as hateful and angry, or not be as, just not be as sad even, I mean, those little things are huge, but, on the bigger scheme of things, if we can elevate the consciousness for people to just have the police stop shooting black people in the streets, and stuff like that would be great, but, one heart, one mind at a time.
Thank you.